All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. I believe so, since there are 200 people waiting and chat is flying through so fast. Goddamn. Jesus. Anyways, Blind Boy Gaming, 818,000 jobs lost in latest reports revision. Yes, I saw that. That is breaking news. According to the latest revision on the jobs report, it's not looking good, unfortunately. It's like, okay, this is beneficial for the non-incumbent, but at the same time, you don't really want people to lose their jobs. I would point out that some of that is reabsorption, though. As inflation does level off, some people are like, they took out a second job for, some months or something to buy groceries. If they were lucky, they didn't have to take out credit card debt. And now they don't need the extra job. So some of that's just reabsorption. It doesn't necessitate that it is all new unemployment. The problem is that the bottom may be dropping out under us. We have to wait for another month or so to see the new jobs revisions, and we'll wait and see. Kamala Harris' chances of winning elections slide as RFK Jr. might drop out. Yes, RFK Jr. is... This is from his running mate, by the way. This is very abnormal for a presidential campaign. As he loses money, he's thinking of dropping out and endorsing Trump. That's the report as soon as Friday. I've got various thoughts about this. It could be of import or it could be a nothing burger, and it's also unverified, so we'll talk about that. We've got the possibility of a Kamala collapse. If she's elected, her tax proposals would probably collapse the economy. Multiple individuals are pointing out why her proposals, especially from yesterday, are a very, very bad idea, especially when you've already got the economic shaky going on. Michelle Obama is a vapid hypocrite. We'll be talking about that as well. You live in a $10, $20 million home, and you're rambling about rich people and how evil they are. You appear to be fairly wealthy. I wish that. Do you want to give me $10 million, Michelle? I could make do for the rest of my life with that, with sound investing, mainly in gold and silver, I suppose, at this point. We're talking about Goldco later, by the way. Student cell phone usage. We'll be talking about that. I am a little bit atypical with regards to my particular beliefs on this. I personally do not see students using cell phones as a problem unless it's in class. If it's between classes, at lunch, whatever it happens to be, in the case of an emergency, could actually be helpful. And editorial, yes, more schools should ban student cell phones. Good way to teach them authoritarianism. And it turns out, by the way, that the first person who actually shot the would-be Trump assassin was not Secret Service at all. The sniper shot second. Greedo fired first, in my opinion. Well, technically, Han and Greedo fired at the same time. It turns out it was a local cop. Yeah, it was local PD. They were the ones that were primarily defending Donald Trump when he had been forsaken by some of the security apparatus around him. So we'll be talking about all of this and much more. Weird news cycle. It's one of those days where there's too much news. Some days you get like two fucking news stories that are actually interesting. Usually on a Sunday, by the way, because the news cycle is much more slow. And so it becomes very difficult if you're mainly into current events, political analysis, and stuff like that, science news to an extent. It becomes difficult. But then some days you get too much. You get overloaded. You have to parse things down, because a person can only make so many videos in a day. I've got 24 hours like everyone else has. I can only allocate so many of those hours towards video creation. Hell, I've been neglecting the garden for the last few days. I've still got a mow out there. Thankfully, it's been rainy, so at least I have plausible deniability. Got to mow, got to edge, got to move the fence out, got to raise the side bed where the dilapidated cucumbers used to be. Got to weed, got to fertilize things one last time, get things ready for fall. Virgil Shadow, Sticks, been cutting down trees to make room for a garden and chickens in the backyard. Also got blueberries starting to grow, stacking on various supplies. Thanks for the advice over the years. Good idea, and you're very welcome. Yeah, it's blueberries are good, and they're fairly low maintenance. You might want to get some netting for them because the birds love them. David Davis, good morning, Sticks. Good morning to you as well. So let's get right to the news. RFK Jr. This is alleged. We're not 100% sure whether this is true. The suggestion by his own running mate, so it's probably real, is that he's going to drop out as early as Friday and that he's going to endorse Donald Trump. This would be a game changer. If RFK Jr. just says, I'm dropping out of the race, and then he doesn't endorse anyone, it doesn't mean anything because he's taking 50-50 from both campaigns. It basically disaffected would-be Republican voters that have TDS and disaffected Dems on the other side that don't like Kamala Harris or Biden, for example. Now, he's been running between 3 and 10, roughly, in the state polling. Generally the same in the general election polling. He's the big deciding factor. If he doesn't endorse anyone, therefore, it doesn't really matter. It means nothing. It doesn't move the barometer at all. The odds remain unchanged. If he endorses, though, that is a big one, because if a lopsided proportion of those people do pile on to Trump or Kamala's campaign, he could effectively be kingmaker. What I think happened is quite clear, and this happens often in politics. It's sort of like within the primaries. A primary opponent is a pain in the ass to the person who's presumptively going to win, and so they buy them out effectively. That appears to be what's happening here, and RFK Jr. is definitely for sale. Trump happens to have a lot of cash on hand, and he can promise him a cabinet position as well. I think that Trump effectively went to him and said, look, and quite clearly you can't possibly win. The numbers just are not there. The charisma's not there. But I can get you a cabinet position and pay you off if you fucking endorse me. And that's what I fucking think happened. And yes, that would significantly decline Kamala Harris's standing in the race, assuming that there's an endorsement. But keep in mind, we don't know that this is actually real. This is effectively an allegation built on what his running mate said, which was, well, we're considering dropping out of the race. But that sounds fairly final. If you're in it to win it, you don't make the suggestion that you're willing to drop out at all, now do you? I would think that a person like RFK Jr. generally would be entailed to join with the Kamala campaign, and it's entirely possible that he does so. Maybe they didn't offer him as much of a slot. Maybe they said, well, you're a traitor to the Democratic Party. You get nothing. Good day, sir, or something like that. And then Trump said, well, side with me, and screw him over. And you can have, you can be Secretary of State or something like that. Now, I don't like RFK Jr.'s particular ideological proposals. He's an anti-gunner. He's a climate change hawk, et cetera, et cetera. He's basically got one good idea that he ran on, which was something that I can't mention on YouTube because it's Voldemort disease related. But that being said, if he does drop and endorse, I would think of that as a good thing. It would be good for the Trump campaign. It would be positive. He can't win. So throw your weight behind one candidate or the other. Just get it over with at this point. We're approaching very quickly September, and people are going to have a dichotomous choice. This is both good and bad. You've got broad umbrella parties within the United States. Europeans, by the way, don't understand this. Where you have 7 or 8 different parties and they form a coalition in parliament, we have 2 broad umbrella parties because we don't have a parliament. We have the House and the Senate. So at the end of the day, it makes more sense to compact the number of parties, actually. I used to think this was a bad idea back when I was a liberal, of course. Then I realized actually the system generally works out well. It's just a matter of having the right charismatic people nudging the politicians in the right direction, if that makes any sense. Works about as well. Ice poll. If you can stomach the huge trail of blood weeping from the shooter, you can clearly see the sloped grassy knoll. Yeah. So yeah, RFK Jr. may be dropping out very soon. We're hoping that that's the case. It would be positive for the campaign. Last Beacon, you were right, Sticks. I had nothing to worry about, at least in the Florida side. I'm still worried about what will happen when the Amendment 3 and 4. Yeah, don't worry about the general election in Florida. I suggest you research Amendment 4. It is the most barbaric pro-abortion amendment that they've put into existence. DM me on Twitter if you know about Amendment 4 in Florida. Maybe I'll be able to cover that. Mulgera. When would you say criticism of Trump becomes TDS? I share most of the criticisms Dave Smith and other libertarians have of Trump. Yeah, there's plenty of criticism to go around. I've been very open about it. One of the first things he did when he got into office, and it pissed me the fuck off, was suggesting reopening CIA black sites. So literally torturing people for information. Of course, this is unconstitutional and completely insane. I criticize him for this. The Syrian air base strike, while I understood the meaning of the strike, and he did clear the base out before he hit it, it was still an act of war, technically. It could have inflamed the situation that was going on in the Syrian civil war, and I opposed him. There have been other suggestions that he's made throughout time or other policies he's tried to impose. I can criticize him on Obamacare. He tried, 3 or 4 different times to parse away Obamacare or water it down, and failed every single time. He went to Israel and Palestine to talk to the PLO and Netanyahu to try to get a peace deal going there. He failed completely. They basically shut him out. He had to pivot to Korea. But that being said, in the preponderance of things, Trump had more successes than failures, number one. Some of the successes were extremely high-end, number 2. Most of the failures were fairly minor, number 3. And number 4, he's fucking sane. Unlike Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris or senile Joe Biden, who at this point looks like he can barely stand, honestly, sometimes. So it's a big problem. Heritage Heirloom Seed Company, reminder, one lucky customer will receive a $100 bill in their seed bucket or sticks box this month. Yes, indeed. You will get your shout out in a while. And one Don, thank you for the content, and thanks to everyone who came out on the 4th of August to Fort Anne. Sounds fun. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Will Robert Kennedy pull a Chris Christie, albeit less fat? Yeah, you could probably stuff 3 RFK Juniors in Chris Christie. I think 2.5 to 3 would be probably about the right amount. Apache, Washington was right. We shouldn't have any parties. I agree with you. BW, I see that AT RFK, RFK lost a lot of support when Biden got out and most went to Comrade. Would remainder go to Trump? And if Cornell and Jim drop out, we're screwed. They won't drop out. They're also Rands. RFK Jr. throwing his weight behind Trump would be very meaningful. If he drops out just generically and says, I'm not endorsing anyone, you're all fucked up, it doesn't mean anything. It won't change the dimension of the race. Didi Cortez, about to shower but missing the stick soap. Would be cool to smell like you. Thank you for your work. That's kind of hot when you think about it. That's what I'm talking about. You want to smell like me. Oh my. Alex, hey Sticks, living in rural Northern California. The community here is great. Too bad the rest of California isn't doing as well. Hoping these RFK rumors pan out. Peace to all my brothers and sisters out there. Psy Recipe Guy. Okay, you've at Psy Recipe Guy. I'm hoping you do cooking. I'm always open to new recipes. I made a really, really delicious veggie soup last night, and almost all the ingredients were from the garden. It was tomatoes, green beans. You gotta have tomatoes and green beans in a garden veggie soup. Basically, the only thing that wasn't from the garden, the celery, which I want to grow next year, and then the bouillon. That's pretty much all. Just a second here. Jesus Christ. My screen is glitching slightly. I hope that you can... I'm hoping that you can still see me. Can you still see me? Last beacon, the Obamacare thing was because of John McCain. I've said it before, and that's the one thing that made me worry in 17 and 18. Continued in the next rant. And wasted. Sticks, be careful. If your hair smells too good, you might get a visit from Sleepy Joe. Possible. And a follow-up from last week, and he pissed off way too many people in the campaign trail, and that's why he had that much of a hard time getting his policies enacted. True. You are correct, sir. Stream feed is good, says David of the Light. Okay. Yeah. Something. I've had a couple of screen glitches lately. Only on certain sites, though, I've noticed. It might be a Rumble problem. I'm not 100% sure. Next, we'll talk about one of Kamala's fiscal policies. It's a wonderful fiscal policy. Taxing unrealized gains would obliterate the U.S. economy. Having used up all of the rest of the batshit, insane, counterintuitive, economic, dirty tricks left in the will literally do anything but cut spending bag, the Biden administration, and Kamala, by the way, she is pushing this as well, is pushing what could be the most destructive idea for our country since Prohibition. Taxing unrealized gains. Oh, you kind of gained money on paper? Well, you've got to pay a tax on that even if you don't have the cash on hand. As part of its budget proposal for the 2025 fiscal year, the Biden administration is trying to raise an additional $4.3 trillion over 10 years in the worst way possible, imposing a minimum tax equal to 25% of a taxpayer's taxable income and unrealized capital gains less than the sum of their regular tax for taxpayers with wealth over 100 million. You see, the problem is this. This would not affect the average person. Who does it affect? The investing class. What you don't want to do is drain so much money away from them that they are reluctant to invest, because they invest in everything. Small businesses, entrepreneurs, upstarts, self-servers, etc., etc. The self-employed in some cases. If you threaten them, therefore, with a tax of that level, they're going to guard their money more. They're not going to invest it. They're not going to put it into any form of account that's actually going to bring them a gain, because they're just going to be taxed on it anyway. And it will slowly sap them of their wealth. They're going to be less likely, therefore, to invest in a person. They're more likely to offshore their money. So they'd say, well, it's not going to be taxed if it's in Japan. It's not going to be taxed the same way if it's in Ukraine. It's not going to be taxed the same way if it's in Canada. But if it's in the United States, if it's held domestically, it's going to be a problem. The problem is that this kind of tax is so onerous, so massive, it's going to cause people to drain their money from the coffers and not put it into the U.S. economy. That will slow the U.S. economy, possibly causing rolling waves of joblessness and all sorts of other fucking problems. I believe this has been tried before, if I remember correctly, by the way. It doesn't pan out too well. Last weekend, that was 30% of the reason why Trump derangement syndrome exists. Mainly it's just because he's orange. Orange man bad. Wasted. Sticks, I can't see you, but that's probably because my eyes don't work, being dead and all. Mulgara, do you get Yuengling beer in Vermont? You should try it if you get your hands on it. It's my favorite beer. My favorite is Fiddlehead, actually. Last week in glitchy screen sticks. Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. David Davis, sticks, still doing the lasagna gardening? No, mainly terra preta, hugel culture, and I've got a few more experimental ideas that I'm going to be imposing too. Ice Pole, I'm Stick Sexenhammer, and I proclaim that Webster wares should ship to the UK. Get a life, bend that knife. It's impossible. BW, do you think Trump would have been more successful if he ran 20 years ago? Do you think he would have gotten 2 terms? And if we lose, is it over? I think he would have been successful then too. Yeah. But he was too busy with his business empire. I think, yeah, I don't think it's over if we lose. That's not what I think. I just think that there would be very hard times ahead. I'm bullish on the United States, but I'd be much more bullish under a Trump administration. We'll put it that way. Webster's Wares. Good morning, clankers. Free shipping using code STICKS at websterswares.com. Free shipping on orders over $40. Use code CLANKER2024 for 15% off. New custom Trump merch available. Yes, let's get to our sponsors, by the way. First and foremost, we have to go to stickslikesmetals.com. I am a Goldco partner. This is from Goldco. They've been sponsoring the show. Good company. By the way, my silver shipped. I can't wait to show it off to you because I'm kind of excited about that. Gold and silver have been used for thousands of years by mankind. It can be used for jewelry. It can be used in electronics. It can be used in mechanical devices. That's why I try to invest in. I do stack silver, mainly silver as opposed to gold. By the way, again, they can give you a free gold and silver investment kit if you go to that particular link in the description. It's also pinned at the top on YouTube, and it's the first comment, of course, on Rumble. You can get your free kit. You can learn how you can roll over your retirement account actually into gold and silver investing. In addition to being able to invest in physical gold and silver. Again, I prefer it in the physical sense, but if you're more on the investing side, you can do that as well. There's no way to know where the economy is going. And right now, there's a lot of shaky in it because it's election season. We're not exactly sure what economic policy is actually going to be adopted over the next 4 years. It could be Trumponomics. It could be Kamalanomics. Maybe it'll be RFK Jr. nomics or something like that. In a time of uncertainty, therefore, there is one certainty, which is that gold and silver actually have a physical, tangible usage. Fiat currency, you can wipe your ass with it and shred it up and use it for bedding for your birds. But you can't really do anything else about it if it hyperinflates. Gold and silver will at least have a utilitarian and pragmatic purpose. You can make beautiful things out of it. You make art, whatever you want to do. So I invest with Goldco, and I'm proud to be a Goldco partner. Again, stickslikesmetals.com, link in the description and pinned at the top on YouTube, and you can get your free investing kit today. Do as you wish, but just look into it. I mean, it's a free investing kit, so there's no risk involved with it. We've got other sponsors as well. We have cultivated-mind.com. I took my mushroom pills this morning. Don't worry. That's why I'm high energy. I take them every day. You've got Radiant Energy. You've got Brain 2. You've got the Immuno 1. Immuno stuff, I don't need as much of, but I'm still taking it as well. I sort of rotate around the 3 different kinds of pills that I've got. pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get keychains, belt chains, bookmarks, very important for us bibliophiles. You can get engraved spoons, glassware, and much more. Again, pumpkinfirecrafts.us. We've got BillTongUSA.com or AntonsUSA.com, the land of the sweet, sweet Anton's meat. Also, Stick, Sex, and Hammer tumblers, mugs, and shirts are available as well. Use code STICKS, by the way, on all these sites for a discount, generally speaking. By the way, get the bison, get some cabanasi. The Wagyu is really, really nice. Really good in the soup, by the way. We have Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com, the land of Stick, Sex, and Hammer hats. Several colors available, several designs available. Again, it was so funny how when I wore the hat the first time and shit, I forgot to bring the hat over here so that I could wear it on this live stream. Motherfuck. There were like hundreds of people demanding the hat. Yeah, it was hilarious. Heritage Heirloom Seed Company.com, land of the seed survival bucket, as well as the Stick, Sex, and Hammer soapbox. It is cedar, it is clove, and it is blueberry. It's the best scent you can possibly formulate. I happen to be a little bit partial to it. Thankfully, there's another soapbox on its way. I can't wait because, I'm running perilously low on my Sticks Hexen soap. It's the officially endorsed soap. We've got websterswares.com/sticks-wares, or you can just go to the general site. You can get Sticks merch there. We've got metal straws, knives. Webster's, by the way, I got your package. I'm going to be showing it off soon. You send me another couple of knives, like folding knives, and you can flash them out at the same time and imagine like stabbing a person in the neck on both sides or something like that. Also, they've got Trump merch. And they've got miscellanea, fire starting kits, and things like that. It's a pretty cool site. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMN Bean.com, the the land of Styx Hexenhammer endorsed coffee. A new blend is coming soon, marketed by yours truly, of course. But you can always get the Costa Rica blend in the meantime, and no harm, no foul. It's definitely a 10 out of 10 coffee. You're not going to have to worry about any rancidity, or you know how some coffees, like if you brew them a little bit too strong, they're really rot gut and like really bitter and or sour. You're not going to have to worry about that with Jam and Bean. Their coffee is top notch. Let's see. Damalone53 sent $5. No comment. Thank you. RZ the Legend, seeing Trump appear on various online shows. Smart. Yes, it is a smart marketing tactic. Wine Country Stackin', $5. No comment. Again, thank you very much. Ice Pole, it's a good looking hat, the center logo. Yeah, most people seem to like the offset logo, actually, which was odd. I like both of them myself. I've got several of them. MillerMel81, good morning, Sticks, US. Good morning to you as well. Again, my screen is... God damn it. Yeah, never mind. I'll take care of it later. There's something slightly wrong. Oh, and then I've got a bunch of comments. Yeah, I'm trying to read your comments over on Rumble, but for some reason, there's a little problem. Webster's Wares, when I get home, I will open a UK shipping portal. Oh, good. Last Beacon. Technically, yes, on the Orange Man bad, but the other half in this practically wacko nonsense was because, and this is when I was a Never Trumper, continued in the next rant. But I read somewhere in one of the Never Trump groups that Trump's hand motions stimulate the lizard brain or primitive brain or something. I told you it was wacky. You see a lot of that sort of weird shit these days. Trump is trying to hypnotize you. Wasted Bonehead Sticks, Gandalf is the gray, Radagast is the brown, and Saruman is the white. But what are you? Sticks the Clank? Actually, it was Saruman of many colors after he managed to get in with Sauron. That's left out in the movie, of course. ZX Rider, what do you think about an October surprise where Joe Biden steps down and Harris becomes the first female president? The media frenzy over the historic event gives her a huge boost just before the election. Actually, it makes her look pathetic and weak. Old white dude passing the torch. I don't think that would look as good as they think. I don't think it'll happen either. Last Beacon. Now on to spooky season. What sort of haunted horror houses do you like over in Vermont? Down here we have something. It's called Screamageddon. First time I went down there, I brought my leg. I don't really go to haunted houses, actually. I prefer to make the property here look spooky. The bonus holes, Hoctois, Harris 2024, spit on that thing. Yeah, she's going to have to spit on it first because she can't get self-lubrication anymore. She's a little too old for that. Charles Wester, who the fuck votes based on someone else's endorsement? You'd be surprised at the number of people who do. Ice Pole, off center I meant. I don't have to read this SC. Oh, the off-center one. Oh, okay. I understand. You don't have to read the super chat. Well, I read it anyway. Jesus. Just a second here. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying me bloody best. Okay, that works. All right. Anyways, Michelle Obama's a hypocrite. You live in a $20 million home or thereabouts. You know, of course, the estimates may vary. Your net worth is upwards of $80 to $100 million. What do? You go to the DNC and you lecture people on the greed of the rich ruling class, which is funny because that's the uniparty that you're talking about. I would point out you're also a climate hawk, and your house is 5 feet above sea level, about 100 yards from the shore. This does not make sense. The Obamas are hypocrites, effectively. Some people retroactively, they've sort of, they're trying to do this with Biden. I made a video about this in the morning, actually, the sanitization of Joe Biden's regime. They tried and were mostly successful in doing this for the Obamas, actually. The Obamas had fucked up repeatedly. The economy under Obama was fairly lackluster. Unemployment was generally high until the very end. You had the bailouts, and the left, went frenetic over that, and all sorts of other things going on. Numerous foreign policy failures. For example, Syria, Ukraine 1.0, the invasion of Crimea. You had basically all of the problems that you have now under Joe Biden, except the inflation. That was one thing that was under control under Obama. You had all of these things. But retroactively, they sort of marketed Obama as the Black Bill Clinton, like the God liberal, effectively. And it was mostly successful. But they're still hypocrites. When Michelle Obama is coming out and lecturing people with regards to wealth or pay your fair share, Bernie Sanders coming out the other day, too, at the DNC, it's just ironic and hypocritical. It doesn't really make sense when you think about it. You are rich. The fact that you had to deal with white liberals that talked about you behind your back, I'm really sorry for that. I'm certain that's the reason Michelle Obama doesn't want to be directly involved with politics, by the way. And why Barack's like, fucking, I'm still young enough so that I can surf occasionally. So I'm going to go to the pineapple and pig roast on the beach and say, fuck you. They've got Martha's Vineyard, but they've also got Hawaii, actually, to go to. I'm sure that he spends a lot of his time in Hawaii and prefers to stay away from the racist white liberals. And they are. I've interacted with these people, okay? Just trust me on this one. I went to UVM. I've seen the things that they say when you get them a little bit on the loaded side. Hillbillies, you get them loaded, they'll say, I love everyone. I even love my own sister. It can be creepy at times, but that's what they're going to say. You get a white NIMBYist liberal from the West Coast loaded, and all of a sudden it's the hard R. I've seen it before. It's actually real. Talking about, I can't even mention most of the words that are in my mind at the moment on a YouTube live stream. They get really bigoted, actually, towards the end. Get him a couple of beers. Oh, by the way, Heineken, fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon. I haven't had a cold one in a while. So, let's get back to the news. I know some people just thought that was funny. Maybe I'll watch Blue Velvet later. It is a really good movie. Just to keep in mind, trigger warning, for anyone that cares. There are some scenes in it that are pretty depraved, actually. Although the sort of quasi-rape scene, the first one, becomes humorous because it's so fucking hyperbolic. And it's just weird. Last weekend. Oh, I already read that one. Wasted Bonehead, peace out, Sticks the Clank. Let's hope Karis gets a poo balloon from Kim and Sigil. Everyone's hoping that. Webster's Wares, limited edition laser engraved sticks item available as well. Wanting to show off what we can do on our new machine. Clank, clank, baby. Yeah, Webster's Wares is some good shit. Just saying. Editorial. Yes, more schools should ban student cell phones. I dissent from this. I do not believe schools should be able to ban students from bringing cell phones into school. Teachers should be able to ban them from using them in class. And of course, it becomes a problem if you've got like a major exam going on. You don't want the student having, pre-written answers on their phone. So that makes sense. But in general, I think that if a student is in between classes, they're in the lunchroom, they're in gym and gym's fucking boring as fuck. So they're just sitting in the corner. Something like that, they should be able to use their cell phones on a school campus. Who died and made you God that they shouldn't be able to do so? Maybe they're one of the cool kids and they're actually watching Styx Hexenhammer videos on their phone. I think that that's a good thing. It's more likely that they're watching cringe, but, there's always a few of the cool kids. Just saying. So I disagree with that particular editorial position. Trying to ban them is not really plausible anyway, because they're going to figure a way to smuggle them into the school. They're going to be using them anyway. Try and tell, especially middle or high schoolers, what to do. What happens? Well, then they go against you. They say, oh, you're a lame-o. You're an adult. You know, you're over 25, so you're lame. I'm not going to fucking listen to you. Fuck you. I downloaded LimeWire to my student folder when I was in high school and was pirating music and shit like that and looking up pornography, by the way. And it was fun. You think that I gave a shit about the school rules? No, I just found a way around them. The kids that you don't want to use the cell phones are the ones that are going to smuggle them in, by the way, and then charge their mates a little bit of money to smuggle theirs as well. Man, the problem child in your local high school is going to be a fairly lucrative position to be in now, isn't it? Webster's Wares. The poo balloon story had my wife and I rolling. South Korea was blasting K-pop music at the DMZ in response and sending USB drives full of it in balloons. Haha, love sigil. Paul Wilson. So the 25th Joe, promote Kamala, appoint Raskin as VP, and then he can call alternate electors on J6. That won't happen. Don't worry about that. Doc Holliday. Why insist on referring to Big Mike as a woman? No, Sticks. It's a man. Michelle Obama is female. She probably has a thyroid disorder. 17 George is correct. Yes, I miss the glory days of LimeWire when you could give your computer AIDS in order to get free music and movies. Last, Beacon, exactly my point on the whole Trump trying to hypnotize you argument. However, something must be done to set an example and break people's derangement and make most never-Trumpers seem insane. Yeah, no, I think some people are a little bit too far gone. Ice Poll, I found Sticks from Carl. This week in Stupid, I found Salty Cracker from Sticks. Make shout-outs great again, or is the well dry? Yeah, no, there are plenty of good channels out there. Check out H.A. Goodman. He does good commentary. Lionel Nation. You should definitely check out Lionel Nation. Of course, The Quartering. I co-host with him. Sargon of Akkad. You know, you probably already know who he is. Brittany Venti. Lauren Southern. Nick Fuentes. Some people have a big problem with him. He can be overbearing. He's personality-based, admittedly. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have the right to speak, and it doesn't mean he doesn't make interesting content. I don't understand why some people have a huge problem with Nick Fuentes, actually. Can he be over the top at times? Yes. He's clearly gearing up for a career in politics. The dude's barely in his 20s. He's got a stunning career ahead of him. Don't worry. Also, I think someone gave him like 50 Bitcoins years ago. God, I hope that he offloaded them in the last raise. I don't want to encourage anyone to drink, but I just wanted to drink. I had to make a Blue Velvet reference. What else am I supposed to do? And then the final news story, it turns out, you remember when Trump was almost assassinated. You may remember that. I'm sure that you do. It turns out that the first person who shot at the person attempting to shoot Trump was a local cop. Now, we all thought it was a Secret Service sniper that took him out. No, it was a local cop, actually. The sniper beamed him, but before that, he was already injured by the local cop. It looks like he managed to damage the weapon when he fired on him. He stopped Crooks, and importantly, I believe the shot damaged the buffer tube on Crooks' AR, Higgins added later, citing eyewitness testimony. Shooting the buffer tube may have disabled Crooks' rifle. So Trump would probably be dead right now if it weren't for some local yokel cop. Ta-da! This is very interesting because, of course, the Secret Service is already embroiled in scandal for having been incapable of managing the situation, not manning the roof, despite the fact that you could have manned the roof. We got video of him leaping across it practically. Half of the people that were on security that weren't local cops that day were DHS. They weren't even Secret Service. Trump had repeatedly requested increased Secret Service protection and been denied several times. You have the resignation of the head of the Secret Service. The current deputy is now the acting head of it. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. Things lined up a little bit too much, I think, for it to be all coincidental. My theory is that they knew the shooter was going to be there. They didn't actively recruit him, so he's not necessarily a glowing one. He's just a psychopath. But they let him take the shot. And the local cops acted with candor. They were actually, an attempt was made to stop the shooter, but they didn't have any communication with Secret Service, so there was nothing that they could do. Apparently, one cop managed to nail his gun, possibly injuring him in the process, and then the rest is history. It's the weirdest story never told, actually, when you think about it. Have you noticed that the legacy media doesn't like to talk about the attempted assassination of a former president of the United States very much? They seem to ignore the story, despite the fact that we keep getting updates about it, by the way. Well, let's see. Last weekend, I meant to say broke my leg in the last rant. Fucking voice to text. I never use it myself. Lord of the Ree, Fuentes is a catboy-loving, cum-hunting, fed-posting, can't say that on YouTube video, who just wants to get off the no-fly list, in my opinion. Now, I've debated him a couple times. Have you ever seen my debates with Fuentes on both politics and religion? He's respectful, you know, generally, depending on the person. He's respectful to me. He called me the goth Sean Hannity. I was like, yeah, I'll take that moniker as long as I can have the same salary. That sounds fine. But I don't have any problem with him. I don't understand why some people have a huge problem with him. Scott Steiner, the world's greatest ring announcer. Trump should appoint RFK Jr. as Director of National Intelligence. He'd oversee the intel agencies and would have authority to reclassify docs, i.e. expose their deep, dark secrets, like the Kennedy files. I agree with you 100%. BEW, I wish we could start a sponsorship program to get right-wingers from other countries to move here. Yeah, but some of the right-wingers would be turned off to the idea. That's the whole problem. They'd say, no, we don't want any of them foreigners in here. Myself, I just want people to come in legally. If you come in legally, if there's a quota system, of course, and conditional, then it's fine. I don't have any problem with immigrants. Met many of them. Married one of them, actually. It's perfectly fine. Lord of the Ree, for someone who claims to be as worried as he is about white replacement, he sure is taking his time to do his part to have kids and offset the replacement. That is the one bitch that I have about, like, the Groyper crowd. There is one easy solution to demographic displacement if you believe that that's happening, and that's to fuck. And fucking is fun. Putting your penis in a vagina feels good. You should do it more often. It's fun. Lord of the Ree, looking to Fuentes catboy and cum-hunting thing, just saying it's sus. Most of that's a meme. Look, I'm not simping for Nick Fuentes, but most of that is basically internet humor more than anything else. Ice Poll, Trump's not defunding the police. It makes sense. They don't want him dead. Yeah, no, they're going to go out of their way to protect him because they're like, oh shit, our pensions are on the line. Imagine that the other person wins. Holy fuck. Yeah, no, it's fine to have sex in the ass too, although I've never been particularly into that. The vagina is the more obvious place to put it. Like, it lubricates itself. It feels nice. It's warm. Tastes good, you know. Smells really good. I mean, unless the person's diseased, then it's a problem. Thrift shop investor. Fuck, marry, kill. Michelle, Dr. Jill, Hillary. Okay. I would marry Jill Biden, because she's a stand by her man sort of person. I would fuck Michelle Obama because she's the youngest of the three. And I guess, Sudoku Hillary, I guess. I think I got it right on that one. Last beacon, the people that are too far gone need to be isolated from mainline politics so that we can move on from Trump derangement syndrome. They are allowed to have their opinions. They're just wrong. But confronting them on it isn't going to make any real difference. I've tried. Trust me. Once in a while, you can reason with people politically. Most of the time, people fall into an echo chamber. Why, most of you are in an echo chamber as well. You just happen to have the right opinion, which is how an echo chamber works. Kuvekistan, yes, Jill did speak at the DNC. Giving basically a speech about how great her husband is and stuff. She really does stand by her man. I mean, Hillary does too, but it's just like, if I had to be chained to either Jill Biden or Hillary Clinton for the rest of my life, do I want plates thrown at my head, or do I want somebody who will hold me by the hand and, show me where to go? I think Jill Biden is the more likable one. BW, you should appoint RFK as ambassador to the last place that has guinea worms. Also, you saved me some calories talking about pussy. I'm a woman, by the way. Oh, goodness. Are you saying that you just beat off to what I was saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Save me some calories talking about pussy. I didn't know you were female. I assumed that you were male. My apologies. This is why I don't use pronouns. Unless someone has a distinctively, identifiable name like, Christopher Reeves. I'm assuming that you're male. Then you get in trouble because you made the wrong assumption. No, I strongly encourage everyone to fat to me in chat. You want to beat off to me? That's perfectly fine. I don't give a shit. King of Biltong. Good morning from Anton's USA. 10% off. I almost said 100% off. Sorry. Off your Biltong using code STIX10 on BiltongUSA.com and AntonsUSA.com. Help us fight climate change. Eat more Biltong. Clank. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it turns out BW wasn't perving on me, but got grossed out. Aw. Friend zoned. Just joking. I do like saying perverted things in chat, though. Yeah, you can do the spoon fap, too, Thump, thump, thump. Watching chat implode due to sexual references is always funny. Why do I get a feeling that more men beat off to me than females? I actually, there was actually once a Hollywood celebrity, fairly well-known one, retired now, who was perving on me in YouTube DM. I'm not going to mention names, not until he's dead. But it turns out that he's gay, or at the very least bi. And he said something along the lines of that I should have my shirt off more often. And I was like, whoa, you're actually this person. That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm straight and stuff. Channel deleted immediately. And it was definitely the actual person, because there was footage there from outtakes and stuff that nobody else could have possibly had. And I was like, that's surreal. And it's actually one of my favorite actors. That's the funny part. I'm horny on Maine. Talking about sexual stuff is fun. Masturbating is good for you. For men, it prevents prostate problems. For women, it just feels good. And men like to watch you do it, just saying. Bright Eye Security. Do you think Vance as Trump's VP weakens Trump? No, I think it's an even odds sort of thing. I don't think it really brings a huge amount to the ticket, but I don't think that I don't think it's a detriment at all. Sigil, take pictures and send those. Yeah, I'm not posting my lewds online, that's for sure. No, newbie of death, I am not hammered. I have a beer. Volpe. Sticks looks too much like my moron BIL to beat off to. No offense, Sticks. I don't know what a BIL is. Sticks, do you eat ass? I will neither confirm nor deny this. I eat pussy, though. PBR is like 4.2%. Sticks will be fine. Yeah, no, there's brother-in-law. Yeah, I can imagine you wouldn't want to beat off to someone that looks like your brother-in-law. I mean, some people might be into that, though. And then, actually, I exhausted the news stories. I thought I had one left. Let's see. Is this going to devolve into a sex chat where I answer sexual questions? What's the weirdest place you have ever come? I probably shouldn't answer that particular question, no. Ripsidian, why don't Italians eat pussy? I don't know. Tell me the answer. Is that like the lead to a joke? I don't 100% know. Sigil, no, Styx likes to pull it upwards, actually. If it's to the side, then it goes through like the underwear and it feels weird. Mr. Gary Baxter, why? Yeah, I think, yeah, this kind of, I can say this on YouTube. Why do Italians wear gold necklaces? So they know where to stop shaving. Ripsidian says it was a 100% legit question. I have no clue. Ice Pole. Jill never had someone she didn't like commit suicide, so I agree she's bad, but not worse. Yeah, no, exactly. If you want to live, then you marry Jill. If you don't give a fuck whether you live or die, then you marry Hillary. I mean, you'd have a lot of money, but then you randomly shoot yourself in the back of the head 3 or 4 times. Yeah, big problem. We've totally devolved. Emperor Soft Turtle, Harris' constant use of the song Not Like Us is hilarious. Harris is pretty much like the Drake of politics, a fake mixed Canadian with identity issues, manipulative streak. The song is calling him out. Her other problem is she's a legit psychopath. People need to understand this. Being serious for a moment for chat, because I know that we've devolved into talking about penises and stuff like that. You need to understand Kamala is actually a danger to the country. Biden's not. Biden is just a puppet, and oligarchs jerked him around by shoving their fists in his ass. So it was never really a risk. Incoherent? Yes. Incompetent? Of course. Obviously unconstitutional at times? Yeah, definitely. But he was never an existential threat to the country in anything but bungling foreign policy. Kamala Harris is the sort of person like Hillary, and that's why I voted. One of the reasons I voted for Trump in 2016 was I was afraid Hillary was legit going to start a nuclear war. Kamala, if she gets in there, I think will do so. She will start a major war. Millions of people could die. Well, I mean, what good conscience person would vote for that? No, none of them. Last weekend, I didn't need that image in my head. Yeah, so I guess, again, for fuck, marry, kill, and I can't say the kill part out loud, you know, you Sudoku Hillary Clinton, you marry Jill Biden, because, I mean, she does seem interpersonal at least, and then you fuck Michelle Obama. Why is my cursor, now my cursor is glitching out. It's like doing a shaky thing. That was weird. Huh, I've not seen that before. I don't know what's going on sometimes. Who is running a slave ring? Jill Biden? I don't think so. Last beacon. Add to the whole echo chamber thing. There are some people within the Never Trump echo chamber that scared the hell out of me because I'm afraid they might pop off a nuke in Russia. Yeah, that would be my worry with Kamala, actually. It's like with Joe Biden, he's incoherent. He's clearly senile. That's perfectly fine. That's bad enough. Kamala, though, strikes me as a legit psycho, as in legitimately would start a war simply for the idea of starting a war to advance her career. The problem is starting a limited war, maybe it advances your career. A few thousand people die. Kamala doesn't give a shit. But then let's say you go a little bit too far because you're strategically incompetent. Well, all of a sudden, everything's irradiated and half the world's population is dead. Not really interested in that. Last speaking, and shit, voice to text again. Fuck. Let Styx Mania run wild, brother. Yeah, we're running wild in Clankdom. Senor Faces, Tarl Warwick's edging session starts in 5 hours. Ice Bowl, Kamala's hot source vocal infection was my favorite. I don't know what that refers to, but it sounds hilarious. If somebody can DM me on Twitter, she had a hot sauce vocal infection. Hot source vocal inflection. I don't know exactly what you mean. Do you mean when she lapsed into Ebonics, despite being raised in Jamaica of mainly Indian heritage? Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with a female president. I just want them to be competent. That's my litmus test for everyone that runs for the presidency. Trump, I've already seen what he can do. I know he's competent. Kamala, no, I don't think so. I mean, imagine in 2016, I played a little game with people during the primaries. I said, can you imagine this person being president, and what kind of president would you cast them in if you were making a movie? We know how Trump would operate as president. Very executive, very boardroom style, which can be a problem at times, but generally speaking is actually an asset within executive politics. Can you imagine the kind of president you would cast Kamala as? I think she falls into the Hillary zone. She's cast off as the individual who has the friendly facade, but then behind the scenes is totally fucking evil, basically. Last speak, and also I don't need Styx Rule 34. That's probably already online. Mulgera, I'm going to be tabling one of the tables for the Libertarian Party of Maryland at a gun show this weekend. I'm going to try and pick up a black powder pistol that you'd see a pirate have. Nice. I'd like to get a black powder pistol at some point. That'd be fun. Ice Pole, yes, the pretending to be black voice. Yeah, hot sauce in a handbag moment. She's exactly like Hillary Clinton, only a little bit younger, and she happens to have a darker complexion. That's literally the only difference. Anyways, I think that I'm going to go offline now. I'll be back tomorrow with more news. I've got part of the docket already cleared for tomorrow. I thank you to the 4,000 people who watched live. Most of it was a bit of a rant, but people seem to enjoy that, and I enjoy it too. So it's one of the perks of the job. I get to talk about weird shit, like, vaginas, and so, well, they're not really weird, but I get to talk about anything that I want, and I get paid for it. It's really great. That's about all. Peace out.